Jasmine Crockett's fearless legal intellect allows her to challenge authority without hesitation, and this quality has become one of the most defining aspects of her rise in the political and legal arena. Fearlessness in the face of authority is not simply about being loud or confrontational. It is about having the knowledge, confidence, and clarity to stand on the strength of one's arguments, even when those arguments are being tested against the most established figures of power. Crockett embodies this with remarkable skill. She is not the type to retreat or allow herself to be overshadowed by titles or positions. Instead, she leverages her deep understanding of the law to create a presence that demands attention and respect. Her fearlessness is grounded in substance, not bravado, which makes her challenges to authority all the more effective. When examining what it means to challenge authority without hesitation, it is important to recognize that authority itself often comes with an unspoken demand for deference. In legal and political settings, figures such as John Roberts carry decades of influence, precedent, and a level of symbolic stature that can intimidate even experienced lawyers and politicians. Yet Crockett has demonstrated that she is undeterred by the weight of reputation. She understands that authority must still be accountable, that law is not about bowing to names or titles but about ensuring that principles of justice are upheld. By entering a room with that mindset, she redefines the balance of power, reminding everyone present that respect should be earned through truth and fairness, not automatically granted through status. Her background in law has prepared her for this role in ways that cannot be underestimated. As an attorney, Crockett built her reputation on advocating for those who often lacked a voice in the system, defending the marginalized, and fighting battles where the odds were not in her favor. This experience sharpened her instincts and taught her to thrive under pressure. In courtrooms, hesitation can mean the difference between justice served and justice denied, and Crockett learned early on that standing firm, no matter the opposition, was necessary to fulfill her duty. This courtroom resilience has translated directly into her political career, where the stakes are often even higher and the scrutiny relentless. Fearlessness in her case also stems from preparation. Crockett does not walk into confrontations with authority figures unprepared or uncertain. Instead, she equips herself with facts, legal reasoning, and a sharp grasp of procedure. This preparation allows her to act decisively in the moment, cutting through intimidation tactics and exposing weaknesses in the arguments of those she faces. What makes her stand out is not simply that she speaks up, but that she speaks with precision, weaving together logic and law in a way that makes her challenges impossible to dismiss. This level of preparedness not only strengthens her own credibility but also places those in authority on notice that they cannot rely on status alone to win a debate with her. Challenging authority without hesitation is also about tone and presence. Crockett's delivery reflects both passion and discipline. She carries herself with an energy that communicates conviction, but she never loses sight of the need to maintain composure. This balance is crucial because authority figures often rely on attempts to provoke emotion or disrupt the flow of an opponent's argument. By remaining composed while still exuding passion, Crockett disarms these tactics and keeps the focus on the substance of the debate. Her style conveys that she is not simply reacting, but actively directing the conversation, forcing authority figures to respond to her rather than the other way around. Another dimension to her fearlessness lies in her willingness to speak truth in settings where others might prefer to remain silent or cautious. Many politicians weigh every word with an eye toward public opinion, donor interests, or institutional approval. Crockett, however, has shown a commitment to authenticity that resonates with those who value honesty over political calculation. This authenticity makes her challenges to authority even more powerful, because it is clear that she is not acting out of ambition or showmanship but out of genuine conviction. People sense when a leader is speaking from the heart as well as the mind, and Crockett blends both seamlessly. The impact of such fearless intellect extends beyond her own interactions. By standing firm against authority, Crockett sets an example for others who may feel silenced or overwhelmed by figures of power. Her presence demonstrates that it is possible to speak truth to power without being diminished in the process. This has a ripple effect, inspiring others in political and legal spaces to bring their full selves to the table, to ask difficult questions, and to refuse to be cowed by reputation alone. In this way, Crockett is not just asserting her own authority but is also reshaping the culture of discourse, making it more inclusive of diverse voices and perspectives. Crockett's ability to challenge authority without hesitation also highlights the importance of courage in leadership. True leadership is not about preserving comfort or avoiding confrontation. It is about taking risks in service of justice and accountability. Fearlessness is often the dividing line between those who maintain the status quo and those who push institutions forward. Crockett is firmly in the latter category, using her legal intellect as both shield and sword to carve out space for progress in arenas that are often resistant to change. Her command of law and confidence proves she is more than capable of standing against John Roberts. And this strength is rooted in the way she has cultivated both her intellectual depth and her ability to project authority in high-stakes moments. In any legal or political confrontation, knowledge is the foundation upon which all credibility rests, but knowledge alone is not enough to sway minds or shift power dynamics. Confidence, presence, and the capacity to wield that knowledge effectively are equally crucial. Jasmine Crockett embodies this rare combination, and it is precisely what enables her to not only hold her ground against one of the most respected legal figures in the nation but also to redefine what it means to challenge established power. Her command of law reflects years of rigorous training, courtroom experience, and a sharp understanding of how principles of justice operate in practice. She does not merely recite rules or cite precedents. She weaves them into narratives that expose weaknesses, highlight truths, and underscore accountability. This ability to make the law feel both accessible and authoritative strengthens her position when standing across from someone like Roberts, who has built a career on interpreting and shaping constitutional meaning. Confidence in such confrontations comes not from arrogance but from preparation and mastery. Crockett enters legal and political debates with an assurance that stems from knowing she has done the work to understand the issues at hand. She studies the law with a thoroughness that makes her responses precise and difficult to challenge. This preparedness allows her to project authority in settings where many would falter under pressure. Standing against someone like John Roberts requires the ability to speak with the kind of certainty that cuts through doubt, and Crockett has shown time and again that she can do so without hesitation. Her confidence becomes a force multiplier, amplifying her legal knowledge and allowing her to hold the attention of her audience while keeping her opponents on the defensive. Part of what makes her command of law so powerful is her ability to contextualize it beyond abstract theory. She understands that law is not merely a set of rules written in books but a living force that shapes people's lives. By grounding her arguments in the human impact of legal decisions, she makes her case not only intellectually compelling but emotionally resonant. This dual approach places Roberts, or any authority figure, in a difficult position, as it forces them to engage not just with dry legal text but with the consequences of interpretation. Crockett's style transforms legal confrontation from a battle of words into a battle of realities, where her confidence and clarity expose the stakes in a way that is hard to dismiss. Her presence in these confrontations also signals a broader cultural shift in who gets to claim space in the legal and political sphere. For generations, authority in these arenas has been dominated by figures who fit a narrow mold, but Crockett defies those expectations with unapologetic strength. Her confidence is disruptive in the best sense, challenging not just Roberts as an individual but also the institutional norms that have long dictated who is allowed to speak with authority. By standing tall in the face of power, she demonstrates that expertise and conviction cannot be confined to traditional archetypes. This makes her role in these moments even more significant, as she represents not just herself but a broader reimagining of what legal authority looks like. Equally important is the way Crockett balances assertiveness with discipline. Standing against John Roberts is not simply about raising her voice or showing defiance. It is about carefully choosing when to press, when to clarify, and when to hold the line. Her confidence allows her to navigate these moments with precision, ensuring that her arguments remain sharp and focused rather than scattered or reactive. Authority figures often attempt to control the rhythm of a debate, but Crockett's poise enables her to disrupt that rhythm, forcing the conversation to proceed on her terms. In doing so, she asserts that she is not merely participating in the dialogue but actively shaping its direction. The symbolic weight of her command of law should not be underestimated either. In standing against Roberts, Crockett challenges the perception that the highest voices in the legal hierarchy are beyond questioning. She underscores that the law belongs to everyone who has studied it, practiced it, and lived its effects, not just to those who sit in positions of institutional power. Her confidence in claiming her space in these exchanges conveys a message that reverberates beyond the immediate confrontation. Authority is not absolute, and even the most powerful figures must engage on equal terms when faced with someone who knows the law and speaks it with conviction. Crockett's strength in these moments also reflects her broader philosophy of leadership. She understands that the role of a leader in law or politics is not to defer to authority but to test it, challenge it, and ensure it remains accountable to the people it serves. Her confidence in standing against Roberts is therefore not an act of rebellion for its own sake but a deliberate assertion of democratic principles. She models the kind of courage and intellect that leadership demands, showing that respect for institutions does not mean silence in the face of their representatives but active engagement with them. Her ability to match Roberts in both knowledge and presence also highlights the evolving nature of legal debate itself. In an era where the law is increasingly scrutinized in public spaces, figures like Crockett who combine intellectual rigor with bold confidence are redefining how authority is contested. She demonstrates that legal discourse is not confined to courtrooms or cloistered chambers, but is also fought in the public arena, where clarity, confidence, and the ability to inspire matter just as much as technical expertise. By excelling in both dimensions, she proves that she can not only stand against Roberts, but also capture the attention of a broader audience that sees in her a reflection of their own demands for justice.